hold an annual grandparents camp. Kids love it. In this episode, I'm going to address the question, what is the best way to connect with my grandchildren? We have 17 grandchildren. I'm going to share with you the best way we connect with them, and I want you to take notes because it'll be probably the most amazing thing you do for your grandkids. So I'm Doug Andrew. My wife, Sherry, and I have been married for 46 and a half years, and we have 6 children, and we've been blessed now with 17 grandchildren thus far. And we have special events throughout the year where we have family retreats with a purpose, and we have sleepovers and traditions and backpacking trips and so forth. But the best thing we have ever instigated was 8 years ago when we started our annual Grandpa's Camp. Now, a lot of people say, what? Grandpa's Camp? How come it's not Grandpa and Grandma's Camp or Grandma and Grandpa's Camp? Okay, do you want me to be honest? Because I have to level the playing field. Life's unfair. Even in the songs at Thanksgiving, it's over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Well, it's my house too, so I had to do what is called a strategic bypass. I had to build Grandpa's tree house in our backyard. Now they come to Grandpa's tree house because it's Grandma's house. It's like, well, it's my house too. So when I came up with the idea with my wife, I said, we'll call it Grandpa's Camp. Well, can't we call it Grandpa's and Grandma's Camp? No, we got to keep it short and sweet. Grandpa's Camp. Now she's invited. Actually, she's a very important part of it. She doesn't just come do the dishes and fix the meals. Oh my heavens, I could never have a successful Grandpa's Camp without her. But this is what Grandpa's Camp is all about. And I want you to take notes because it's probably the best thing we have ever done to connect with our grandchildren. So when we came up with this idea a little over 8 years ago, we announced it to our grandchildren around Christmas time. And we said, we are going to hold an annual Grandpa's Camp the last week of June every year, just before the 4th of July, because just about everybody's in town at the time. And it's just before my birthday. My birthday is on July 2nd. So we're going to end Grandpa's Camp on my birthday. So here's basically what we do, and you can take ideas from what I'm going to share with you here. We bring in now our teenage grandchildren, actually the 12-year-olds and older, for the first 3 or 4 days, and we talk teenage talk. We always have a theme. I'll share some with you here in just a moment. And we do high adventure, rappelling. We go on hot air balloons. We're going to do we're going to skydive one of these times, and that's going to shock them to pieces. But anyway, we do a lot of neat things. We go fishing, we backpack, we do four-wheeling, and what have you. But we spend this time with our 12-year-olds and older. And we teach them responsibility and accountability. I have many tools that help them. I call these thinking tools. That will help them think about their brighter future and get super clear on what they want to do. I use tools like the Solution Formulator, the Better Life Circle, the Experience Transformer, the Quick Thinker. And these are found in a lot of my books and on my websites. But with our 12-year-old and older grandchildren, we have them use these thinking tools. They're setting goals for a brighter future. I've mentored many troubled youth, over 5,000 troubled youth in my lifetime on a volunteer basis. I'm on a board of directors for teenage suicide prevention and so forth. So loving my grandchildren the way I do not want them ever to wonder how to deal with crisis or crises in life or deadlines or insults or taking offense or feeling like I'm stupid, I can't. So I have thinking tools. We have tons of fun, but we usually have a deep discussion for anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes in the morning, afternoon, and evening, sometimes around the dinner table or around the campfire or whatever. It is just over the top. Now, when we first started, we had all the grandchildren together because I only had 2 that were over the age of 12. Now we bring in the 12-year-olds and older for the first 3 days, and we do all these neat adventure things, and then we go fishing, and we relocate to a property I have in central Utah. We have about 33 acres where we can go down and camp and talk around the campfire. And that's when the 4-year-olds up to 11-year-olds come and join the 12-year-olds and older. Now, I usually take the 8-year-olds and older, and we camp out at 10,500 feet. Grandma takes the younger ones, and she spends that time with them in the cabin because they're a little bit afraid to sleep out under the stars maybe. Now we have enough that we bring them pretty much together, and I'm at one location. My wife is within a mile away, and they can ride four-wheelers back and forth, but we have zip lines. We have high adventure and rappelling, and we always have a theme. So one of the key successes has been to have a theme. The very first year, it was how to live, learn, give, and earn. The next year, it was America, the land of liberty. And we talked about why America is such a great country. And we have 4 freedoms in America that most people have never enjoyed on this planet. Freedom of time, money, purpose, relationships. We also did be polite, be clean, be brave. That was the B year. We also had let your light so shine. Last year was be a possibility thinker. Instead of looking at why you can't do something, think of how you can do something. This year, it was dealing above the line. This comes from a concept where most people in the world like to deal below the line, blaming why they can or cannot do something, or justifying why they can or cannot, or did not do something, or shame. Oh, I'm not smart enough, I can't. That is all an absolute waste. It's only when you deal above the line that we progress. Above the line is responding to any situation in life, any curveball life throws at you with all your ability. It spells the word responsibility. Now, we're Christian in our family, so we teach them, don't be a clam on the bottom of the ocean waiting for plankton to float to you. Don't be a victim, poor little me. No, America has an eagle on the flagpole, and so you want to respond with all your ability, and then a higher power will make up the difference. So we teach our principles that we believe in, faith, and doing faith with works, because faith without works is dead. And so we weave in our family values and beliefs in our annual Grandpa's Camp. And so we teach accountability, which is to others. And so that was this year's theme. So to give you an example, we assign each of the family units with our 6 children, there's 6 family units. And I teach the overriding theme the first night around the campfire about being responsible and accountable to God. One group said, I taught how to be responsible and accountable to yourself. Another, how to be responsible and accountable to your parents, to your family, to your country, to nature, to your teachers in school, or to your boss or your fellow workers at work. So it was learning how to be responsible and accountable, and we gamified it so that we had gold coins. These weren't real gold coins, but every time they did something without being asked to do it, and every time they signed up to help, to do the dishes, to clean up, to sweep, to pick up trash and litter, they got a gold coin, and a gold coin allowed them 10 minutes on a four-wheeler. If they wanted to take a 30-minute four-wheeler ride, they had to have 3 gold coins. So they learned that if they ever dealt below the line, if they ever blamed or justified or operated in shame, they had to relinquish one of their gold coins. Every time they were responsible and accountable, they got a gold coin, and they could redeem that to do things they wanted to do. But it was over the top successful. And so that's Grandpa's Camp. It is my favorite week of the year, every single year. My wife loves it. The grandkids, when we ask them, so what's your favorite vacation? They're not just trying to stroke me. They go, oh, we love the lake. We love to go backpacking. But whatever you do, Grandpa, don't you ever cancel Grandpa's Camp. That's our favorite place to be. And of course, that makes me very excited and proud. So let me share with you a little story that will help you understand why the grandkids love this so much. So the key is to have a lot of fun intermingled with learning. And so we usually have a learning episode where they teach a concept for 15, 20 minutes in the morning, another group in the afternoon, and another group in the evening. And they also get to conduct an activity that's usually centered around the theme, but it doesn't have to be. I just assign it out. It's amazing how they teach one another. The cousins learn from their other cousins. And we just simply accommodate it. And I'm able to facilitate. This year, it was quite hot. And so we took a garden hose during one hot afternoon, and we tied water balloons, big water balloons. And they had to go underneath the water balloon, and they had to look at it, and they had to say, now. And if the water balloon broke at that instant, they won a gold coin if they guessed it, but they had to be daring. Now, some of them, they just darted in and darted out. So we started saying, okay, you have to stand under the water balloon while it's filling up with water and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by saying 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and then they can move. It was hilarious. We do all kinds of things like that, and zip lining and four-wheeling. But the key is you will build memories, and we have a t-shirt every year that has the theme. It has their name on it. It says Grandpa's Camp 2020. But let me just tell you, after the first year, my little grandson, Ethan, he was always asking his mom, starting in January, Grandpa's Camp isn't until June. Mom, how many more days till Grandpa's Camp? It was January, okay? It's like 180 days. She said, okay, I got to do something here. So she made a Grandpa's Camp chain out of construction paper, and every month was a different color of links in this chain in his little bedroom. And so there were 31 days for January, 28 for February, and 31 days for March. And then she had some of them labeled Valentine's and Easter so that he could sort of see how many more days till Grandpa's Camp. And every day he got to wake up and cut off one of the links of the chain, and he could physically see how many more days till Grandpa's Camp. Well, he's a smart whippersnapper. At age 5, he equated going to sleep and waking up to bringing Grandpa's Camp to fruition faster. So he started taking numerous naps. He would take a nap and wake up and say, can I cut another link away, Mom? No, it's when you go to bed at night. Well, he loved Grandpa's Camp so much that the next Christmas, he came in on Christmas Eve where we opened gifts between family. Santa Claus is for Christmas morning. He had this big box. He couldn't wait for me to open it. Guess what was in this big box? My own Grandpa's Camp chain to hang up in our house in our 30-foot-long sunroom, because he didn't want Grandpa to ever forget how many more days till Grandpa's Camp. And I could physically see it, and he would come and visit me and see if I had cut off the links of the chain correctly. This will be an event when you do it right with a purpose. You don't have to worry about it. They will fall in love with it. They will look forward to it. This is the best tradition we have ever started to connect with our grandkids. They tell us memories. I remember when this happened and you taught this, and Bodie taught this and Ethan taught this, and it is over the top. If you would like to learn how to hold your own Grandpa's Camp, I have a free book for you, and you can learn about it. I've been an author now for over 20 years, and my 10th book is entitled Entitlement Abolition: How to Lead Your Family from Me to We. Together we're better. And so we teach how to abolish entitlement mindset. Will you pay for, can I have, on our family vacations, and especially Grandpa's Camp. So this book is 200 pages. It's a bestseller. I will gift it to you free. It retails for $20. It has 4 chapters that talk about the problem of how kids get into this entitlement mindset. The last 8 chapters talk about how to abolish or get rid of that entitlement mindset. And if you look at it, chapter 7 is Family Retreats with a Purpose. Chapter 8 is Grandpa's Camp. So if you want to see sample agendas, go to our website. You can see it. But I would love to gift you a free copy of this book. Go to entitlementabolitionbook.com. Entitlementabolitionbook.com. You can claim your free copy. There you'll have the opportunity to get a copy of my other book, Laser Fund, my most recent bestseller on your financial assets. but this will help you understand how to plan and carry out a very successful grandpa's camp or grandma's camp.